was the early years of my 8th and 10th grade when I was introduced to art and generally graphics and design very particularly, and also started working with many young students of architecture who used to seek help to do portfolios on history, theory of architecture, building geometries, and do some artwork which represents modern buildings. So I started reading a lot about architecture in my 9th and 10th grade, and that sort of gave me an inspiration to think of doing architecture instead of doing fine arts as a prime career. Whether it's a large master plan or a small detail, there has to be a narrative, there has to be an idea to each of the information semantics that we create out of design. And to that we map technology, we map functionality, we map the constructability aspect of it. Also bring in the socio-economic context of a site situation. So all these parameters sort of become a parallel sort of montage of that information semantics to make that design complete. There are a couple of projects that I can list them as very joy to our work and relationship as a practice. One is our own office. I think this became for us an example to present to clients that it is possible to build an inordinary building, an idea that you can recycle every piece of material and also build using recycled materials, to be very minimal in terms of its intrusion to an existing building as a project site. So I think for us, this exercise of building our own office became very exciting. Bowring Institute, for example, is something that I take a lot of pride in the way we built the whole master plan. We did the renovation bit for the heritage building, plus added the precincts of all the different buildings in its proximity to be modern, distinctively unique, but at the same time aligned to historicity. This was another pride project. I also head design for VA Group, and in that position, the Wipro campus, for example, for Kodati is a 5 million square feet, very large campus which sort of layers various aspects of green and built spaces for various software engineers to habit together. The times when I started my practice, every drawing used to be hand-drawn, blueprinted and sent to site through manual drafting. We thought that computer science and AutoCAD will completely destroy the occupation, and there was a whole fear psychosis. So I think we are also going through a similar time to recognize AI as something that might become an aspect or an idea of replacement to the idea of design, which will never happen. AI is always a tool. It's just like another computer embodied software or an idea of a system design, because design and architecture requires texture, it needs tactile capabilities, it needs an intrinsic mind which has emotions. It's not a mathematical resolution, it's not a permutation or a combination of many aspects which gives like a logarithm and then we resolve to a certain formatted possibility of an idea and think that is great design. AI will always be mathematics. It is machine learning and it can never compass the idea of emotion, and architecture requires emotion. That's exactly why Mies van der Rohe says that architecture has the posture of an epoch of its making, but it also brings in the experience of change for a human person who would, walk through that whole program and process of experience. For me, future of any space or architecture is always about bringing the memoir of historicity and creating a continuum to that sort of fragment of experience to the future. Just not students, I'm talking about architects, it's a constant learning experience. It is very important to learn to draw. I think that's the most implicit capability that drives an architect's vision, mind, thinking is through charcoal, is through pencil. And I recommend that people must learn to draw, people must learn to travel, and people must learn to be good listeners. And I think that brings the experience of becoming an architect better. Forbes India and Kohler recognition to architects is spectacular idea and an opportunity. I thank the team for having recognized us as an architectural practice. It is very important, I think, to look at the gamut of a practice complete persona. I think that understands the perception of how the practice works, the direction that they seek, and the consistency at which they want to calibrate their method of building. Thank you, Forbes India. Thank you, Kohler.